My name is Angela Lacey, and I am a testimony. I was born and raised in church. I honestly know that I was in my mother's womb in the church. And we went to church every Sunday. We were the family that everyone talks about, that you go to church every day of the week practically. Saturday mornings, for sure, I was at my church for youth rehearsals. Sundays, especially youth Sundays, I had the wonderful opportunity to teach Sunday school on youth Sundays. I loved church. I was a church baby. My mom was an announcing clerk. My dad sung in the choir. We were very active being in the ushers. I remember accepting my call to Christ at the age of 7, wanting to be baptized, letting my mother know that I wanted to be baptized. So I've always had a relationship with God. Even at the age of 7, I could hear the voice of God. Understanding though that I was raised in a Baptist church, so I'd never seen a woman preacher, never heard of anything of that nature, but I knew that God was speaking to me at a very young age. I would say my story is similar to the prodigal son. Once I became a teenager, just like anybody else, I was ready to get out of the house and ready to be in the world on my own and be grown, as we say. I just want to be grown. So I left home by the time I graduated high school. And also during that time, I went through a season where I was angry with God. There are seasons that we get angry with God. And I was angry with God for a few reasons. One being that I had lost a loved one that I really, really cared about. And in this point in my life, I didn't want to even hear church, hear music. I did not want to sing again. I did not want to dance again. I did not want to do anything church related. I went complete opposite. That meant I was around others who did not even believe in Jesus themselves. Now, the funny thing about that, even though I was trying to turn away from God, I could still hear his voice no matter where I went. Whether that was in a club setting, I could still hear God. Or if I was in a room where people were doing drugs and alcohol, including myself, I could still hear God. And it got to the point that I was at the lowest of lows. My parents didn't want to parent me anymore because I was so rebellious at that point in my life that I began having to sleep in strangers' homes, that I had to sleep in a one-bedroom studio apartment on the floor. I would have to walk 5 miles to work. There were times that I'd be on the corner asking for change just so I could have dinner for that day. So I was at the lowest of the lows. Remember the story of the prodigal son, where he woke up in a pig pen? Well, I've been in the pig pen, and it is an unfamiliar place in an uncomfortable situation. And I was at my last leg. And I remember times riding in the car and listening to secular radio. And even during secular radio moments, church songs would come on. One in particular was a Yolanda Adams song, Open Up My Heart. Well, I remember one night that I was at my last leg and I just wanted to give up on life and the world all itself. And once again, I heard the voice of God. And he tells me, now daughter, I can let you go as far as you want away from me. You're already at the kitchen of hell. Or You can turn your life around right now and follow me as though you know and understand and remember. And that's when I opened up my heart to God and told him that I'm truly sorry for walking away. And I told him this time, I want to do things right. And so from that moment forth, I won't say that everything became perfect, but as I slowly started getting back into my scriptures and started getting to know God more for myself and developing my relationship with him and sanctifying myself from the world, I opened up my heart to him and he embraced me. And now today I stand before you more loved and excited and more in love with God. Going back to the Bible, going back to scriptures, and discovering myself through the Word, discovering who God was to me, finding my purpose, relearning what I already knew, but having it more of an experience now, being able to experience his grace versus prior to where I knew of his word and I knew his voice, but I hadn't experienced his grace in the magnitude of where I had turned my back on him. I equate my story to the prodigal son because in his story, he had asked his father for the things that belonged to him, that he felt belonged to him, and he wanted to go away, and he spent his money and lived his life frivolously and unconscientiously. And one day he realized that the life that he had in his father's house was way better than where he had gone off to. And so in his return to the father's house, he was able to receive the love that he did not realize that was already there for him. That no matter how much you try to run from God, he is still with you and he's still present with you. There's not anything that you can do or say that would take away God's grace and mercy off of your life. That he is a very forgiving God, and that no matter what, you deserve his love.